good day, this 113th day, meaningful moments, 365 days. Folding towels. That was the meaningful moment. It comes in so many different ways, and it's important that we can, take that opportunity that as things pop up in our mind and we see the value of them, that we hold them as the treasures that they truly are. So one of the things that happened for me with this particular meaningful moment is the way these towels are folded. And my husband and I, when we first got together, we used to joke around about how we each had our ways of folding. And I believe that there was a little bit of this, like, my way is the way that is the better way to fold it kind of thing. And we would kind of adjust ourselves and even tolerate ourselves, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. And, we would do it that way while we were folding together or whatever, but then inevitably one of us would find the towels folded differently in the closet. And we had our reasonings for why we were folding it a certain way. It fit better in the space that we had. They stacked better. They didn't fall over that way, et cetera, et cetera. But, he had his way that he did it. I had my way. And both of us could attribute it back to, like, way when we were kids, or somehow when we thought we've been doing this all our lives. So my husband just thought he had done this way all his life, and he had a good way of doing it, and this is his special fold and the way he does it. And I have the way that I fold, which was a little bit differently, and it was like this. And mine was because that's the way my mom showed me, and I remember my mom actually instructing me how to do these folds. And so, I continued to do it that way. And the meaningful moment came just a couple of days ago, and I wanted to talk about that, but there were other things that kept coming up. And what came for me, and I wanted to share it today, a bit on the lighter side from yesterday's meaningful moment, was just that I was folding, and as I was folding, I had this sense of like it didn't matter anymore the way it was folded. And this is gradual, because granted, this has been over 10 years of folding and this back and forth, and the joking and the little bit of push and pull that we had going on there for a bit, and just this ease into this acceptance of it doesn't really matter whether he folds it like that or I fold it like this. But that was gradual, and it was a feeling. It wasn't just like in my head saying, oh yeah, well, of course he has his way and I have my way, and there really isn't a right way, all that kind of stuff. It was actually a feeling. And that's different than tolerance. So now to this little bit here, which is a shirt that I had received a few years back when I went to this beautiful exhibit, and it was called the Ships of Tolerance. And it was actually a beautiful ship that had been constructed and displayed at Navy Pier. And the concert hall on the south side of Chicago at the Cultural Center over there had a beautiful presentation with young individuals that were musicians and vocalists that had come and performed. And it was all under this auspice of the Ships of Tolerance. And this beautiful woman who has a foundation, and she had it arranged so that all of this was being sponsored by her foundation. Anyway, the whole premise was on this idea of being able to tolerate, and they were going all over Chicago and all over the cities, all over the world actually, with this exhibit and these performances as a way to generate awareness in terms of tolerance for one another, all these different ways that we live and are, living in this world. And it was beautiful because I'm not sure this is actually over. Something just happened there because I got a notification and I flipped it. But anyway, so it was a beautiful example of how we can work together with one another. That was great. But what I did get from it, as I went to the actual exhibit and walked around the ship and saw all these beautiful flags that students had done all over Chicago from different school districts, and their representations of people being together and coming together, was that I sat there and it was so beautiful, all the art. And I was really, touched in my heart from all of this. But one thing that was missing was not just tolerance. That's the step. That's the door that opens and allows us to step in. But the acceptance. And that's where the connection really comes, because then we perceive it in a deeper connection. The reflection of what our way might be and another one's way might be, but it melding together and it not making a difference whether it's one or the other. It's just ways. And that's what came about in this meaningful moment with the way we fold our towels. And it was a chuckle, one of those moments that we just chuckle to ourselves and we're like, yeah, I get it now. So that was the meaningful moment, and sharing that with you, that you find all the ways to take that step from tolerance, which is wonderful, to acceptance, which is deeper and more integrative and more connected. And we do it in our own way, in our own time. But that's what we have, a journey of life and time. So offering that up today as all the different ways that we can find acceptance in our living, in others, in this world. Aho.